has been an awakening. Having felt it. At last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi. At last we will have revenge. Dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. Now you will experience the full power of the dark side.
Welcome, followers of the Dark Side and the Light. I'm your host, John, the real JP3, and I'm joined as always by my good friend and fellow co-host, who's the master of the dark side, expert on the occult, and obtainer of rare antiquities and holograms. Please welcome Dark Lord of the Sith. Pause for dramatic effect.
That was very creepy the way you whispered to John, but hey, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. This is going to be episode 98 of The Rule of Two, a Star Wars podcast. How do you feel, John? You good? You ready to do this?
You know, I thought we were at 97, and then you corrected me and said, no, we're at 98 because we'll hit our 100th episode next week.
That's true.
And I couldn't believe it. I still can't believe it.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, man. Well, that's what happens when you crank out 2 a week, man. But for those of you guys that are maybe first-time listeners, appreciate you guys joining The Rule of Two, a Star Wars podcast. You can check us out wherever you're listening to us now, as well as see us on the Tube of You. You can see our ugly mugs, and check us out Blueberry, Spotify, Google Play Store, iTunes, all that good stuff, and probably other places that I don't even remember where John signed us up for. So, thank you. John, you ready to do this?
I am.
Okay, so last week, Chris, Chiss, Rodians, we kind of talked about the biggest rumor that we've heard in a long time. Obi-Wan Kenobi possibly coming back, reprising his role as Obi-Wan Kenobi. And when I say Obi-Wan Kenobi, I don't mean Alec Guinness. I mean Ewan McGregor, who portrayed him in the prequels. Possibly coming back. As of today, which is Tuesday the 20th, right, John?
20th of Tuesday, yes.
Okay. Still no word. We got D23 right around the corner. Right around the corner. Maybe
kicks off the day this episode airs, which is on Thursday in 2 days. There have been some speculations out there, and I've only seen it from one post, is that it's a series going to the Disney Plus streaming service. It's going to be like short amount of episodes. Again, purely high speculation. Nothing confirmed by Lucasfilms or Disney at this point. Again, nothing's been confirmed on his signing either. That's just somebody heard it, and I think the internet ran with it. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, as of this recording, nothing.
As you know, the internet likes to run with things, whether good or bad.
They do. You know, I really felt there was a time, you know, everybody says that quote, I really felt there was a time when you couldn't put anything on the internet that wasn't true. I believe that is now completely 100% false.
Oh, I agree. But what isn't false is this Pepsi Max. 0 sugar, John. It's actually quite enjoyable. Pepsi, if you're listening and you want to be one of our sponsors, let me know.
I was going to say, yeah, Pepsi did not endorse this or give us the ability to be able to
but you never know.
Broadcast
maybe there's a cat at Pepsi listening to this. He's in his car. He's in traffic. And he's like, you know what? I like these guys. They like us. Let's make it happen. And then there's a Rule of Two can that's got John's face on it. Wouldn't you want that in your home?
Like the milkman.
Exactly.
Not the milkman. The missing kid on a milk bottle.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, back to Obi, Ewan McGregor news. No news. We're going to see what happens. Everybody's hyped up, excited for it. I'm kind of on the fence. Either way, I'm going to ingest whatever Star Wars goodness comes our way. But today, Resistance Season 1 hit shelves. Did you pick it up, John?
I did not. I spent a lot of money trying to get my collection to a Blu-ray,
Oh, did you?
and
Did you really? Yeah.
accidentally. Um, but yeah, so no, I did not pick it up. Like I said, it's not, and we're gonna get into this a little bit later. It's not the TV series that draws me in. It draws me in enough to keep me, but it's not one that I'm like, I gotta have this. Now, granted, um, much like you, I am a completionist on some things, and I think I could forego this, but then I feel like 20 years down the road, I'm be like, why didn't I buy that?
Yeah,
Should have
exactly.
just bought it.
It's
So we'll
20
see what
bucks.
happens. Well, not only that, I think you had a great idea or great point, not idea. Well, I guess it is your idea if you want to say that. That they may just do like a box set thing or the two seasons together and a Blu-ray copy after season 2 airs. Which, by the way, season 2 airs October 6th of 2019. I have no word on the number of episodes yet. Have you heard anything on the number of episodes?
I haven't heard anything on the number of episodes, but judging by the trailer, it looks like it's going to be action-packed, not really those filler, cartoonish episodes that kind of just have the little pauses between big story beats, if you will. So, seeing that it's the second and final season, hopefully every episode hits and really flushes out these characters, their plight, and let's see where it goes.
Yeah, so I know you don't remember this, but we saw episode 1
I remember
at
seeing
Star Wars
it. I don't
Celebration.
remember it.
So I can recall bits and pieces of it. There's one thing that stuck out of my mind, but I can recall bits and pieces of it, and it was pretty action packed. There was a lot of things that went on, and so I don't know. I'm excited to see. Like I said, when I first started season 1 last year, I was like, I don't know about this one, and it drew me in. We kept watching it. It's one of those things, and people talk about it as we do our best, and Dave kind of is the accountability one on this, is like, even if we don't like it, if it's Star Wars related and it's something people are going to talk about, we need to be involved. And we do our best to keep a positive spin on what we talk about. So I was hoping Dave was going to be like, nope, we're not talking about it. We're done with it. It's over, because he didn't like the episodes either. And then we go to talk about it one day, and he's like, oh yeah, so I caught up, and I think we need to talk about episode 1, 2, and 3 on next week's episode. And I'm like, oh, I thought you were going to say no to that. And then I was kind of happy, because as we got into the show, I was like, okay, all right. And then we used to drop mini episodes after each week that it came out.
That's right, yeah. That's the joy with TV series, man. It starts off slow, and then it starts picking up steam, and before you know it, you're invested. Hey, Wendy, you're invested, and you want to see where the characters continue their journey. And I'm interested to see where Kaz goes, but I'm more interested to see the timeline. Where does season 2 end?
So a lot of the articles that I've been reading, and people that or things that I've been kind of looking at. Sorry, so my equipment. The editor's going to yell. The things that I've been reading is that season 1 took place during The Force Awakens. Season 2 is going to take place during The Last Jedi, which we've already discussed that Force Awakens ends, The Last Jedi picks up. It's right next to each other, so it makes sense. So I think it's going to take place through the course of The Last Jedi. Obviously, if you've seen the trailer, spoiler alert. Sorry, I can't talk. If you have not seen, yeah,
I like it.
You see Kylo Ren. You get to see Captain Phasma. We see all the people from the Colossus, which is in the air right now. Dave and I bet on this at the end of last season that it was going to fly, and I did not believe him, but it flew. And so you see all of that. So it's going to run up against The Last Jedi. Now, an article on Screen Rant that I read, and I posted today, and then we're going to talk about this. They said, hey, what are some of the reasons why it's only 2 seasons? One of the points is it runs parallel with The Last Jedi. After The Last Jedi comes The Rise of Skywalker. The Rise of Skywalker is the end to the 9-film saga or over the 40-year span. So in reality, at the end of this, the Resistance should be done. They either won or they were all killed off. but outside of that, there should be no continuation of the Resistance. So it doesn't make sense to continue the show. So the Rise of Skywalker should complete that storyline where you don't need a cartoon or a TV series to do that. That's a speculation. That's just something somebody was thinking, which is a very valid point, in my opinion.
Which I think it's 100% dead on, but the one caveat is there's a year between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. I think a lot of people were hoping that you have another season, at least a third season, in between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. What would be very cool is in season 2 at some point if Leia and the 5 or 6 people that are left in the Resistance on the Falcon link up with the Colossus. And who knows, maybe there's even a character in Rise of Skywalker that is supposed to be Kaz. Wouldn't that be crazy? Or you just hear his name in the background, very similar to what we had in Rogue One with Harrison Dula and Chopper. The cool thing that would be is if in season 2, by the time they get to Rise of Skywalker, it should be about the mid-season finale time frame, where they're already taking a break. And I don't know if John's listened to me or not, but wouldn't it be cool if those events that take place right after the season finale are the lead up to Rise of Skywalker? So like you see the behind the scenes planning at the second half of the season, and it culminates with a battle in Rise of Skywalker. Maybe you get a different vantage point than you actually had physically in the theater with your main heroes.
Yeah, so I was listening to you, so I wanted to validate something before I said it. But in this article, it does say season 2 is happening simultaneously to events of Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Resistance season 2 will also lead into the events of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. So it's leading up to the point of when The Rise of Skywalker will start. So apparently, based on this, we don't know yet, it will cover that gap, that year-long gap between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. So, which makes sense.
But speaking of that gap, what's interesting is in the trailer we see Captain Phasma. In Last Jedi, Captain Phasma goes bye-bye. Or does she?
Do we ever see a body?
We never see a body. Never.
Because didn't she get thrown into a garbage chute or trash compactor
Trash
chute?
compactor, and then moments later, not like a few moments, but moments, Starkiller Base blows up. So somehow she got out of the trash compactor and survived, got into a shuttle. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know what Phasma's capable of. We'll see. Hopefully, I don't know. Would you want to see her in Rise of Skywalker?
I think we needed more of Captain Phasma. I didn't read the book. I did start it, but I think we need it more. I think her character was built up so much. I feel like I'm going on one of your rants like you did yesterday, because we've talked about this before. I felt she was built up so much she wasn't given the time that she needed. So yes, I do think
Fett.
Boba Fett still has time. We will see him again.
I'm telling you.
I was talking to Georgie the other day. It's gonna happen.
Georgie Pennywise or George Lucas?
George Lucas.
Okay, that's awesome. Did you wear flannel with him?
I did not wear flannel with him. I also did not wear very white New Balance sneakers that he wears either.
When you get to a certain age, it like comes in the mail. It's like part of the package.
Yeah. He's older than I thought he was. I didn't think he was that old. But anyway, so I think that we need more screen time with Captain Phasma. So I'll be interested. She seems pretty like. She even makes a comment. She says, "If you fail this mission, you will regret it. I'll handle it personally." And like,
a lot of people are thinking that's not Gwendolyn Christie's voice. That they're saying it doesn't quite sound like her, and I haven't gone back and listened to it or watched it again to hear it for my own ears, but they're saying it may be not Gwendolyn Christie, because I know she reprised the role in voiceover for season 1.
Reprised.
What did I say?
Reprised.
I'm saying in past tense.
It's reprised the role. You said it twice, and I didn't correct you the first time because I was like,
Reprised?
We can get into debates about
We'll
this
get
with
into
each other all the
semantics
time.
later.
It's fun.
Exactly.
Anyway, also you need to rewatch the trailer because I rewatched it 4 times, and Kylo Ren does not sound like Kylo Ren either.
I believe it. But
He looks beast as hell, though.
Oh yeah. So
he looks beast and menacing.
the question is he already the Supreme Leader at that time of the Hollow recording, or is it before Rey and him have that epic battle with the Praetorian guards?
Well, that's great. You should ask that question, Mr. Noyola. I actually did some research today on StarWars.com. And some of the information. I don't know. So
I feel like you were watching like Hannibal and like the guy in the wheelchair that has no face, and he's like, you know what I mean?
It's a good movie. But StarWars.com wrote an article about the things that we learned from the Resistance 2 trailer. And at the caption underneath that picture of the hologram, it says, "Enter Supreme Leader Kylo Ren."
Ooh, so he's already the Supreme Leader.
Yes.
Okay.
So we may not. So remember, we debated about this at the end of season 1 if we were going to see Kylo Ren before the end of season 1.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah.
And we didn't see him. I was expecting it to happen like a couple of episodes before the end. You said it would be the last one before we saw anything. So I think that we're going to get Kylo Ren, but I don't think we're going to get Kylo Ren as early as we think we are. And it may be later on in the season that we actually start seeing Kylo Ren. I think we're going to get more Phasma up front. I think you're going to get Commander Pyre a lot more. And obviously, I don't know her rank. Tyranny. Is it Commander Tyranny?
Commander, I believe Commander.
Okay, you're going to get Commander Tyranny because, you know, in the trailer you see Tam, who left the Colossus with her friends or family and went with Commander Tyranny and is now a part of the First Order. I'm not telling you guys anything that's not on the trailer, by the way, FYI.
Oh, or last season, so there you go.
Yeah, or last season. Well, I'm just saying. And she's having to make a decision, and you can tell that when I watched the trailer again, the Battlestar Galactica mindset
there,
that we mentioned, it's there. Completely 100% it's there.
And again, that wasn't me. That was Star Wars Explained. Like, he made those references. I was like, oh, yeah, you're right.
It makes perfect sense. Shout out to that dude, because it makes perfect sense. You get a sense that some of it does come from Tam, and that's probably how they're following them. But overall, like, very cat and mouse mindset. And you can hear the stress and the concern in their voice. They're running out of food. They're running out of fuel. They're having to find a new home planet, and they're just consistently having to stay in front of the First Order. And you hear Doza saying, like, I don't know what to do, guys. Like, we are doing our best to stay in front of them, but with them following us like they are, we are causing a lot of resources and issues for ourselves.
Which, it would be pretty awesome if they follow them very similar to how they did in The Last Jedi. With that tracking beacon and being able to follow them through light speed and all that. I think that would be pretty cool, because then you see that tech in live action as well as animated series.
I want to see them jumping through hyperspace and destroying a whole bunch of ships, because we never saw that before either.
Oh, you're talking about the Holdo maneuver?
The Holdo maneuver. That is correct.
Still not a fan of that, yeah.
I'm not either, because why do we wait till the 8th movie to finally showcase that? Don't.
Anyway. Then if you think about it, that would have been a perfect tactic in the prequels with General Grievous and the droids. Like, have one droid in a ship take out half the Republic fleet right above Coruscant.
Absolutely. For a ship that does not have the speed, like the Empire or the First Order, they don't have the speed of their ships. It makes sense to use the battering ram to go after it that way. You could destroy so many Resistance or Rebellion ships with that. Yep. It sounds so horrible that I'm saying that, but it's so easy because of how large the ship is.
Well, I don't think it's a matter of like size of the ship. I just think it's okay. They're in the trajectory of our light speed beam, and I don't know.
So when I watched The Last Jedi the other day, I was thinking, do we see any other time in Star Wars where they jump to light speed and there's something in front of them and it doesn't destroy them? Because I was like, that would bother me. And I thought about it, and I was like, no, not that time, not that time. So I feel like I have to go back, and as I watch the movies, I'm going to check for that. But I was like, if there's any other time where there's something in a closer proximity to them, and they jump, and that doesn't happen, Rion, it's another mark against you, dude.
I'm trying to think now that you pose the question. Ooh, I don't know.
I think we have to watch them. Like, we're going to have to watch them to figure out. Now that it's out there in The Last Jedi, anything that happens after The Last Jedi, I'm good with because it's out there. Now, if you're doing like something that happened in the timeline prior to The Last Jedi, no. I will not accept it.
Fair enough. Yeah, so Supreme Leader, Kylo. Can't wait to see what he does. Oh man. I would love to see Commander Pyre be the one leading the mechanized force in Rise of Skywalker. Or just see Pyre somewhere on screen. And you don't even need to cast somebody famous. Just put a guy in armor and have the guy that's doing the voiceover work for Commander Pyre in the show do the lines in the movie. You're good.
So that's a great point. Do you think that there's going to be any crossover into the Rise of Skywalker from the animated characters from Star Wars Resistance?
I don't know. Who would you want to see? I go Pyre, and okay. I think you might get a mention of Kaz. Like, let's say Poe's in an X-Wing and he's like, "Come on, Kaz," like, or whatever, or says his call sign, and Kaz blows something up.
I could see that. I could also be okay with Yeager.
Yeah.
And I could be okay with Doza as well.
But how would Yeager and Doza pop up though?
See, I don't know how that. I would be okay with it. I don't know how they would do it. But outside of that, like I could see the Kaz thing. I wouldn't be as okay with that. But the Pyre thing makes perfect sense. I'm good with that. I could see the Kaz thing in the X-Wing or whatever, but I just...
And see, in that way, you don't even have to show him. You can just hear his voice over the walkie or the radio.
Oh, that's true. Like, wasn't there another character we talked about that you just heard him over the intercom?
Well, that was Hera Syndulla. They paged her in Rogue One. So wouldn't it be cool if, Poe's the best pilot in the Resistance? Wouldn't it be cool if Kaz, who claimed to be the best pilot or best racer in the galaxy, or that quadrant in the galaxy, saved Poe at one time? Like, Poe's in trouble, he's got some X-Wings, some silencers behind him, not X-Wings, TIE fighters behind him, and all of a sudden, Kaz comes, like, yahooing, very similar to, like, a Han moment, and says, like, "You're all clear, Poe, knock him out," or something. I don't know.
You sold me. I'm good with it.
Or they give Kaz a moment where you don't see him, but he shoots some kind of missile, destroys something, and in doing so, he says, "This is for Hosnian Prime." And then, like, blows something up.
Look at you being all light side focused there.
I had drinks with Filoni. It happens every now and then. He still hasn't sold me on Ahsoka.
Okay. I'm trying to think here. We get some bounty hunter action in this trailer.
Yeah, we do. A familiar bounty hunter.
Yeah, we're getting familiar bounty hunter. Sidon Ithano. Ithano, did I say that right?
Yeah.
We originally see him in The Force Awakens. Dave, I liked his weapon. It looks like the handle of his gun is made out of like bones, like an animal bone. And Dave's like, I like his helmet.
Looks beast, man.
I can see him like throwing it like a frisbee and like
he looks like a space stingray.
See, I went more hammerhead.
I
like
can
a
see
space hammerhead.
I can see it.
Space hammerhead. But yeah, we get the bounty hunter there. We also get
Sidon Ithano had a comic, I believe, that they featured him a little bit, but now you get to see him more in a animated sense. So that's pretty cool. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. Just want to throw that nugget in.
We got, you got the pirates on board the Colossus. They're obviously looking for new planets and new worlds. You're going to have new creatures. We also did see, so we were talking, sorry, we're kind of intermixing or I'm intermixing. So you saw Sidon Ithano as a live action character, and now he's in animated. We also saw one of the guys from the Guavian Death Gang that we saw originally in The Force Awakens. and now we see him in animated. So I think this trailer was action packed. I think it was like 2.5 minutes, if not a little bit less. It was a very action packed trailer to release for something that's coming out and is coming out right around the corner.
So, given that this is going to be the final go, and most, if not all, of these actors or actresses will be at Star Wars Celebration 2020 Anaheim. Are you going to visit with any of them? Are you going to take a pic? Now that this is, hey, their final season, this is it. And this is actually, Celebration will be right before October 6th. A couple months, I believe, so. Because it's not in April anymore. Isn't it in like September now?
Okay, this comes out on October 6th of this year.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. Sorry.
You're cute. Anyway.
Thank you.
I was like, Dave, like it's literally this year that we're seeing this. By the time we go to Celebration next year, Resistance will be done.
I've got force fatigue, okay? I'm sorry. I'm just...
Anyway, the way you said that, oh, you're right. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
For sure. So first of all, I know she's in live action. Gwendolyn Christie, if she ever goes. I just want to take a picture next to another tall person. That's the only reason.
Okay.
For me, I forget the guy who voices him, and you're gonna correct me. The Yeager guy.
I forget his name. Also, don't worry.
Yeah. So I think he.
You could have
pretty
met him
cool.
last year. Could have met him last year.
I could have. Was he there last year?
He was there last year.
Oh, okay. So I think I would get him because he's been in a lot of other movies. And then the guy that voiced Hype Faison.
Donald Faison?
Yes, he's just super cool guy. At Celebration, he was pretty awesome. I know you loved him in Scrubs.
I did.
But he was in so many other things. He just seems like a really cool, down-to-earth guy.
And this is a long shot and probably would never happen. But if they have Zach Braff, who was in Scrubs, as JD, come out some way, shape, or form in Resistance Season 2, and then they take a co-op pick, sorry, Mike Boom thing, if they take a co-op pick at Celebration, I would have to do it, because it's Turk and JD, and it's Hype Faison, and so-and-so.
Yeah, so Dave Filoni came out and said, and they agreed with it, he created Hype Faison and said Donald Faison has to play him. Like, that's, at the end of the day, he has to be the voice actor. It was created for him. Like, that's super cool.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. So if Zach Braff comes out any way, shape, or form, like I said, then I got to do a double pick. Or I got to do a combo pick.
Okay.
So anybody else from the Resistance you take a pick with or no?
No. I think those are my three. That's it. Three? Two. Yeah, those would be my two, and that's it. I don't think anybody else. I'm like, Those is pretty. The guy who voices there's okay. Tora, no. Kaz, no.
What if Tora, Kaz just blow you away this season? Would you get the triple header pick with Tora? No, not Tora. Tam. No, sorry, shit. Tora, Kaz, and Yeager. Would you do that triple threat?
Why would it be Yeager?
Because Yeager's their mentor.
It's Tam, Kaz, and Yeager.
That's what I said.
No, you said Tora.
Yeah, Tora Doza. The other ace pilot.
Yes.
That's what I said.
But I don't think Yeager's her mentor.
Yeager's Kaz's mentor. And we know he's an ace pilot before he gave it up. So I think he's actually going to get into combat this time around.
Okay. Dave gets confused between Tora and Tam. That's why I'm asking for clarification.
They're the exact same person. Or same name. It's too close for my taste. But again, Tora Doza, Yeager, and Kaz.
No, I would not want Tora. I would do Tam, Yeager, and Kaz.
Why Tam?
She worked for Yeager. She was the person that went to the First Order. She worked for Yeager. He's like a family to her.
Yeah, but she also betrayed them.
And?
She thinks they're a traitor.
And? She was there from the beginning. It wasn't until the end of season 1 that she left. And she had very valid reasons for leaving. I'm just saying.
Okay, so if she doesn't get redeemed, she stays First Order. Dark side. You still going to get her in that pick?
Yeah.
I couldn't do
That's
that.
it. They started out together. It was them. As much as she was annoyed with how Kaz acted, she protected him. She was her friend. She didn't agree with everything he did or what he did with the resistance, but they were family.
Fair enough. You heard it
More
first.
so than Tora.
Yeah, but I think Tora is going to be integrated into that family.
Most likely. I would agree. Most likely.
But all right, that's I think that's all I got for Resistance.
That's all I got too. It'll be interesting. Oh, the ending. Sorry, Kylo Ren ending. Commander Tyranny. And he says, if you can't get this mission accomplished.
And then like her blaster like shaking.
Yes.
Or like her hand shaking above the blaster. Yeah.
And then the trailer cuts. Done. But other than that, I'm excited. October 6th of 2019 will be here before we know it. And
so will October 6th of 2020. Just saying.
It's a year and a couple change, but anyway. But in that, yeah, a lot of cool things. Go check out the trailer, guys. We posted on our Facebook page, Instagram. The Facebook link is there. You can find it on YouTube and Google and everything else. And maybe we may find out some more this week at D23, which starts on Thursday, which is the day this episode airs. And speaking of D23, since I missed it earlier, they announced the promotion for D23 members and goers to the expo for Disney Plus and what they would get.
What are they getting?
So what they get is if they go by during a certain time and a certain day, they sign up, they have to give a 3-year commitment and they get $23 off per year for the Disney Plus streaming service. And it's considered the Founder Circle. And they're also getting an exclusive pen. So the total price is about $89.99 if my math is correct.
A pen or a pin?
Like a pen, like a pen for your shirt. Yeah. So you get $23 off of you, not a pen.
A pin.
A pen.
Pin.
The pen's pen.
Pin.
Pen.
P-I-N.
Pen. Pen.
P-E-N.
Pen. Pen.
Pen.
I got a pen.
Pen.
I got an apple.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a kid show. So anyway, it's called the Founder Circle. They launch globally November 12th. However, there is a link on our Facebook page that tells you if you're in another country, it may not launch at the same time. I think the launch date starts November 12th, but I think they launch up until November 19th, and the prices are a little bit different depending. So go check that out. But yeah, that's the Founder Circle, D23 Expo. That's the promo that they get.
Sweet. Random other thought while you were talking earlier. What if the Knights of Ren come out in this show?
And we find out maybe why they betrayed Kylo and don't want to be with him anymore, since that was a rumor.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe this show does some groundwork for that. And then when you see him in live action, you can be like, oh, that's sling, that's laser, that's taser, that's pin, and that's pen.
Random thought. Since this show, October 6th, launches October 6th, and it's going to go up to The Rise of Skywalker, which means it'll go through a mid-season finale. Do you think that watching one of these shows will then lead up and answer questions?
It could.
Like,
openly. Very well could.
Openly answers questions of something that we see in The Rise of Skywalker, and we're like, it makes sense now. We get it.
It very well could, man.
Stay tuned here on the Roll to a Star Wars podcast. We will find out on December 19th. Yes. We thank you guys for tuning in today. We are the Roll to a Star Wars podcast. And as always, may the Force be with you.
Not you, but you.
Thank you for tuning in today. We are The Rule of Two, a Star Wars podcast. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Rule of Two Pod. Check us out on our website at www.theruleoftwopodcast.com or send us an email via contact@theruleoftwopodcast.com. Check us out on Patreon and TeePublic for exclusive deals and merchandise. And we are in no way affiliated with Disney, Lucasfilms, or the Collider Podcast Rule of Two. And as always, may the Force be with you.
Fulfill your destiny.
Once more, the Sith will rule the galaxy.
Yeah, we shall